and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them.
Studio 6B on a Friday night, wrapping up the week, wrapping up the month. Glad you're in. Slick Rick. Might do some sports. might do some sports tonight with Slick Rick. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good.
How was your day?
It was a good day. Busy. A long day, but good day.
Long day. Well, we're feeling that.
We love Fridays.
It's been a long day for everybody today. Yeah. It's been a long day.
You had a good day, big day, huh?
Long day for everybody.
Good day was electric, huh?
Electric. Rick Delgado's here. He's going to do the news. Mr. Delgado, how are you?
Feeling pumped up.
All right. All right, good. I like that response.
Give me a Zelensky.
Ooh.
Kevin Downey Jr. is here, the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show right here as we are on 103.9 LI News Radio. Mr. Downey Jr., how are you?
I couldn't be better. Thank you, Big D. How are you doing today? Do you have a good day?
I'm good. I had a great day. I see you got your hat on and your red jacket and your Trump shirt and you're ready to go and your hair. Well, we can't see if it's done with a firecracker or not with the hat on, but...
Oh, look out.
All right,
looks like an M80.
Looking good. Glad you're in. If you're watching on Real America's Voice, of course, listening on 103.9 LI News Radio, watching on any of the socials, glad you're in. All of our friends on Kick, YouTube, Rumble, X, Getter, wherever you are watching, YouTube, of course. Glad you're in as well. It's going to be a busy night. They're going to keep us on our toes tonight. We have President Trump arriving back in Florida for the weekend, obviously, going to Mar-a-Lago. So we may be cutting down there. We've got Jack Posobiec, Steve Bannon down live with Harry on the Highway in Texas with the Patriot Mobile team. They're going to be speaking tonight. We're going to maybe cut to that as well. So it's going to be a busy Friday night, keeping everybody on our toes, including Aaron and Fran, of course, as they hold it down as they always do. Glad you're in on a Friday, wrapping up. Man, what a week. When was the Epstein Binders Brigade? That was like 2 months ago?
Yeah. I think
2 months ago, 3 months ago, it seems like.
It seems like it, yeah.
So far off in the distance. That is just gone.
It really is.
So here's what I want to know. Who do we think told Zelensky here's what you do? I need a plan. Well, here's your plan. Why don't you go in? Who told him that he should go in and try to out alpha the real alpha? Was it Susan Rice? Was it who was it? That's what I want to know.
That's a good question.
Yes, because I guarantee you he's been speaking like this to American leadership probably for 4 years, 3 years, to whatever it is.
Right.
He's been speaking to American, not to Biden, because I'm sure he wasn't talking to him, because Biden was out to lunch. But whoever it was, he's probably been speaking like this to American leadership now for, 3-4 years, whatever it is. And Susan Rice or somebody, Obama, whoever he's still talking to, telling him or trying to pull the strings on this, because, of course, his position of power relies on this thing continuing. I mean, everybody obviously understands that.
Yeah, he has no power without us.
Without war continuing there. Mm-hmm. Somebody must have told him that they thought this was a good idea. No, you're not going to run into a buzzsaw. Don't worry. You just keep going, doing what you're doing. You go in there and out alpha him right there on TV. And Trump's thinking, well, last time I talked to this guy in private, it got me impeached, so screw it. Let's just do it in front of the cameras. And what we saw play out today, well, I think I have a little different take than I don't know. But of course, the left is just.
And I have a theory I'll share.
I mean, I think in context, you have to watch the entire 43 minutes of it to see, number one, how much Trump was welcoming. Again, 40 minutes of them talking. Trump obviously has this idea for this minerals deal, which I think was an important, very important deal, which I still think can and will and should happen. But this thing is 40 minutes. So you got to watch the entire thing. People are focused on 5 minutes, rightly so, because that's kind of, you got to see the sausage making that you normally don't get to see. These are the things that usually happen behind closed doors after they do the kind of sit there with the press and, take a couple questions and then go behind closed doors and duke it out and then come back with a unified front and go their separate ways or whatever. Today, no, you got to see the whole deal.
Yeah, the whole ugliness of it. Yeah, it was.
Is ugliness the right word? Why do you use the word ugliness?
Because you talk about how behind closed doors is where maybe voices get raised. things get said that aren't meant to be out there in front of the TV cameras. And then they come out and they sit and they say, yeah, we had a good conversation. We've done this, blah, 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 blah. And then they're going to go and they're going to have some lunch. And then they were supposed to do, the dueling press conference for the press to ask all their questions. Obviously, that didn't happen. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, I do know why. Because Zelensky thought he could out-Trump Trump in public. And you just, not only do you not do that, but he's not dealing from a position of power. He has no power in this situation. He is beholden to us. We own everything. The only reason he still has a country is because of, guess who? You, the American taxpayer. So that's number one. Number two, you know what I feel like he tried to do? And we saw this. Trump has done this plenty of times in the last couple of weeks. When he's making deals and he brings somebody in like the what do you call it? The SoftBank guy from Japan. Right. He brings him in. He's like, yeah, they agreed to $100 billion. And all of a sudden he starts razzing him a little. He's like, how about another $100 billion? Come on, give me $200 billion. And all of a sudden the guy's like, oh, we do $200 billion. They start shaking hands. I feel like Zelensky was trying to do that to Trump. And that's where it all blew up in his face because, number one, he's not that smart. Number two, he doesn't have that kind of personality, I think, to kind of win people over. He's not winning people. He's not winning Trump over because he's in there with his hat in his hand. He's saying, look, I need more money. I need more weapons. I need more of everything.
I mean, dude, when you've been given $200 billion already, check your ego at the door.
Yeah.
Don't show up dressed like a garbage man or like you just got off cleaning the whatever, like this whole thing he does, this whole whatever.
Right.
Check your ego at the door, sit down with the leader of the free world and sign the deal. Shut up.
Yeah.
How about that?
And the fact that he's sitting there complaining, well, I wanted guarantees. It's like, hey, dummy. The mineral deals is your guarantee because once that deal is signed, guess what? Now the United States actually has an interest in making sure Russia doesn't come any closer.
Yeah, we're in the country, dude.
Right. Now we're here. And we're here for a very good and important reason. It's to secure our security as well because we need those minerals.
KDJ, I'm sorry, Rick.
This dummy had no idea.
What'd you think, KDJ?
One of two things. Thank you, Big D. First of all, either Zelensky doesn't get that he's no longer the golden boy and came here and expected them to kiss his bahookie. Possible? I don't know. My personal take is the globalists said don't make a deal with him. Let it go. And I think he sabotaged that meeting on purpose. Yesterday, the FBI flipped Pam Bondi the finger and said, no, we're not going to give you that Epstein stuff that you wanted. I see the globalists circling the wagons, and I think they're planning on something really bad because they're acting as though Trump's not going to be the problem he is for much longer. And that's what scares me. I'm wondering what they have up their sleeves. Because Zelensky should have gone in there, like you said, Rick, hat in hand. How can let's do this. Because as J.D. Vance said, and I saw that Ukraine's sending soldiers back to the front missing limbs. It's not good enough to lose a leg. They just give you a fake one and say, now go back and fight. They're really hurting for soldiers. But Zelensky, someone is backing him somewhere, giving him the chutzpah to go in there and sabotage a meeting like that. I think he sabotaged it, and that's what's going on.
A couple things here. Some reactions that I bookmarked because I thought they were worth paying attention to. Richard Haney said tonight, and he is president of the CSPICenter.org. I watched the entire press conference with Zelensky. There was 40 minutes of discussion up to the argument. Most people saw the last 5 minutes. The whole video gives you more of a proper context. When I first watched the argument without the proper context, I thought it was possible that Trump and Vance kind of ambushed Zelensky or was even trying to humiliate him. That's not actually what happened. You had 40 minutes of calm conversation. Vance made a point that didn't attack Zelensky and wasn't even addressed to him, and Zelensky clearly then started the argument. In the first 40 minutes, Zelensky kept trying to go beyond what was negotiated in the deal. When Trump was asked a question, it was always, quote unquote, we'll see. Zelensky made blanket assertions that there would be no negotiating with Putin and that Russia would pay for the war. When Trump said that it was a tragedy that people on both sides were dying, Zelensky interjected again that the Russians were the invaders, which we all know. For his part, Trump made clear that the U.S. would continue delivering military aid. All Zelensky had to do was remain calm for a few more minutes, and they would have signed the deal. The argument started when Trump pointed out that it would be hard to make a deal if you talk about Putin the way Zelensky does. Vance interjects to make the reasonable point that Biden called Putin names and didn't get us anywhere. The Zelensky-Trump dynamic was calm and stable. It was when Vance spoke that Zelensky started to interrogate him. Throughout the press conference, to that point, everyone was making their arguments directly to the audience. Zelensky decided to challenge Vance and ask him hostile questions. He went back to his point that Putin never sticks to the ceasefire, once again implying that negotiations are pointless. Why on earth would you do this? Then came the fight we all saw in the last 5 minutes. Zelensky was minutes away from being home free. He would have had the deal, new commitments from the Trump administration. The point Vance made was directed against Biden and the media, taking them to task for speaking in moralistic terms. This offended Zelensky, and that began the argument. I was a fan of Zelensky up to this point, but this showed so much incompetence, if not emotional instability, I think that's a big one, that I don't see how he can recover from this. The relationship with the administration is now broken. Ukraine should probably go with new leadership at this point.
Yeah, and speaking of which, there was a call from Ukrainian MP Alexander Dublinsky, just called an emergency session of Ukraine's parliament to initiate impeachment proceedings against President Zelensky after the Oval Office shouting match, basically, is what they're calling it.
By the way, can we get a round of applause for the vice president, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Can we get a round of applause for J.D. Vance, who is a sniper?
Yep.
You know what?
In so many ways.
You know what's funny about this dynamic, and they've done it a few times, where J.D. Vance, it's almost like they work it out. You play good cop, I'll play bad cop. And Trump gets to be good cop. He pumps people up. Oh, this is wonderful. Such a great person, blah, blah, blah. Then J.D. comes in and, like you said, like a sniper, picks him off in the top of the...
I mean, that's your wingman right there, man.
Yeah.
That's your goose to your whatever. What was Tom Cruise's? Maverick. That's your goose to your Maverick right there, man. That is your wingman.
Because he did it.
I got your back, kid.
He did it with the UK guy about the freedom of speech, and now he did it with Zelensky today. Yep. It's almost like they've worked it out. Like, no, I'm going to let you. I'm going to sick you on him.
That looks so rehearsed to me, and they rehearsed it beautifully.
Yeah.
All right, 13 past the hour, just getting started. We'll think we're going to be a busy night. Maybe Trump from Mar-a-Lago, Steve Bannon, Jack Posobiec, live from Texas with Harry on the highway. Should be interesting. We'll do it all in this tonight's show, live from Studio 6B, 13 past the hour. We're back right after this.
Chat in the chat on a Friday night. Yes, we did have a fantastic Pizza Friday night. We included not only the garlic knots with the Sicilian and bacon pizza, but also some mozzarella sticks by request from Aaron.
Yeah. Coffee.
Howdy to the Rumble chat. I'm just reloading it now.
Rumble chat. YouTube chat.
What do you got there?
Chat. What's going on? Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, comment.
Dale Whitnell records 2 hole-in-ones in Friday's round of South African Open. Guy hit 2 hole-in-ones one day.
That's pretty awesome. Howdy, Rumblers.
That's amazing. Have you ever heard of that, Big D? 2 hole-in-ones in one day?
Child of the King, Child of the King, $20 super chat. Wasn't it a glorious day? All that they try to hide in the dark is exposed.
Yes.
Cherry is that the left are losing their minds. God is so good.
Yes. Cat Williams said 2025 all will be exposed.
Okay.
Not yet, no. Howdy, Twixers.
Howdy do.
Heading over to the YouTube
Damon,
chat right now.
What does it say? Damon, exciting day. Proud of my president. Yes, I agree. Cassie. Kevin, eating, making me hungry. Damon, you never said the kids' stats. Need them, please. 14.
You said it 14 and 8, right?
14 and 8. Wow,
yeah.
Good memory, Doug. You actually listen. Very good.
I know. I'm pretty awesome, actually.
Yes, you are. You're
I believe it was 14 and 8.
I grew up,
That's what you told us.
12 and 8. It was in the paper. I have it
just like
on my phone. Did anyone see Zelensky on Fox News with Brett Baird? No.
Yes.
I heard it.
He was kind of defiant.
Wow.
Almost like he didn't do anything wrong.
This guy needs to be smacked.
He just was.
He was bitch slapped.
We got a $50 rant on Rumble from Koga Rock. Thanks, folks, for keeping us informed and entertained. That is our job.
That's the Iditarod guy.
More the entertained part than the informed.
Yes.
Hey, man, I think that's the guy who wants me to cover the Iditarod. He gave us a 50 the other night, too.
Wow.
We'll be doing Iditarod.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Glad you're in. On what a day, boy, huh? I mean, every day. Happiest person today is Pam Bondi that this happened.
Yeah, no kidding.
I tweeted it as a joke before, but it was like, man, it's the binder brigade seems like it was literally 2 months ago. Like who even thinks about that right now? Nobody. No. Wasn't there a deadline today?
Yeah, this morning.
How'd that go?
I don't know.
Well, what does that say?
Not too good.
I don't know. I don't know what it means.
Well, what do you mean?
I don't know if they delivered it.
You made a very definitive statement last night on the show, and it was, if we don't have... You want to continue?
I want to see names. I want to see actual names that were at these places, on that plane, on that island.
Yeah.
I want to see the real names. I don't want to see,
Okay, what are the names? Were they released?
I don't know.
Wasn't the deadline at 8 a.m.?
Well, the deadline was the stuff from New York delivered to her this morning.
And then we have that?
I don't know if she got it.
Well, what do you mean?
I don't know.
Wasn't the deadline this morning?
Yes.
So you're tracking the package.
I tried to.
Your Epstein list is out for delivery.
Okay. Your Epstein list is out for delivery.
Amazon has.
Sorry we missed you. I think it's more appropriate. Sorry we missed you. A couple more reactions. Jennifer Van Leer says, I'm told that the Ukraine deal was also to include exile for Zelensky and his wife and some level of protection from Russian retaliation. If that's true, Trump's reaction to Zelensky's performance is even more understandable, and it looks like Zelensky's even dumber than we thought. Again, I don't know if any of these are true. These are just the ones that caught my attention, so I kind of bookmarked them just to go back and look. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, in the end, I think they still get this deal done. I think it's important that they get this deal done. I think this mineral deal was a great deal. It was I think a deal that was as important to the U.S. as it was to them. So, well, somebody who was in the middle of it all, of course, was our own Brian Glenn.
Brian.
And he joins us. Us now.
Thanks for wearing a suit, Brian.
Brian, nice to see you in a suit. Thank you for dressing up here. It's nice to see you own a suit. How many suits do you own?
Yeah.
Do you own any different colors?
I'm thinking at this point, guys, I need a suit sponsor for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, I'm getting some slap back in my IFB, just so you guys know, back in the studio. But yeah, what a crazy day today. I mean, that obviously was not my intention to kind of get the train off the tracks with that question. But I noticed a level of disrespect in that room the tone, his questions, his answers, things like that. So I thought, you know what? Let's just go ahead and tie it on to the wardrobe, because sometimes the wardrobe is a reflection of how you feel on the inside. And I think today at the very end of that press conference, we realized that was the fact.
Let me ask you a question. Did you get the sense at all that there was that he was acting in a well? First of all, I would suspect he's probably been talking like this to American leadership for the last 4 years because he's been able to. And today he ran into a buzzsaw. But I'm more interested in who gave him the idea that if that is in fact the case, that he thought he'd be able to get away with that today and continue it. Do you think he was encouraged by other European leaders to take on Trump in front of the media? Do you think there's former Biden people, Susan Rice types, that are encouraging him behind the scenes to do this today, or do you think it was spur of the moment, genuine from this clown?
Well, I know that he had a meeting earlier that day. That's why he was late, from what I've been told. He was about 20-30 minutes late to the White House. He had a breakfast at the Hay Adams Hotel, which is just right down from the White House. I was told that there were supporters there, people who have been encouraging him the entire time. Could be Republicans, could be some Democrats, obviously. It could just be former people in office. So, to your point, that could have well set him up mentally on how to address that press conference. But like you said, Trump's a buzzsaw. He's not going to tolerate any of the disrespect. And whenever he mentioned about, well, we have ocean, but, you just kind of wait and see, making it look like a looming threat against the U.S., Trump wasn't having it.
And not only that, but, what happens when there's no more war for this guy? Let's remember that as well. This guy's whole position counts on this continuing, and Trump is out there saying, I want peace more than anything. I want it now. And I don't know, it just seemed like Zelensky kind of went out of his way to make the theatrics about it. Even when he started, again, 40 minutes, 35 of it was pretty calm. I thought the president showed a lot of patience, so I thought he could have gotten a little testier even earlier. And then obviously the J.D. Vance thing is kind of what set it off. And then the theatrics, though, from there, you just wonder if he was told, hey, you do this, don't worry, the American people are going to eat it up and the media is going to eat it up. But I don't know that that's necessarily the case, Brian, especially obviously with Trump supporters didn't eat it up at all.
Yeah, they didn't eat it up at all. But I will say the hate that's on my pages right now in terms of how could you dare ask a president of a country if he owns a suit? If I'd like to share you my DMs over a bottle of whiskey and you would have a good time reading them. It's like a mean tweet segment on that. But I don't think he has any intention, to be honest with you, for peace. The continuation of war just means more money, a conveyor belt of more money to him. Very much like why a lot of long-term, politicians stay in office. Power, money, control. So does he really want peace? Why are we the only ones that are pushing for peace here? It just seems like he came to the table today with no intention of striking this deal, not going to sign it. So I don't know where we're at right now. I know that I had gotten some messages that there is a push to have him resign in Ukraine and perhaps to replacement with him. I mean, that we're seeing that. There's some other things on the domestic front that I can share later on social media. So, man, the world's not taken to his behavior today, and it sure as heck Americans weren't taken to it as well.
I mean, listen, plenty of people come to the White House and to talk. Benjamin Netanyahu's been coming here he's been at war for how many years? He doesn't come in combat fatigues and look like that. I mean, I don't know what the hate is about that question. I think it's a legit question, and then there's other examples to point to of people who don't do that. So what's the act with this guy that he feels like he always has to be dressed in this exact same outfit every time we see him?
Yeah, well, remind you, last year he came to the Capitol and walked around the halls of Congress with wounded soldiers from Ukraine, basically begging for money, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure that's against House laws and probably several other congressional and political laws. You just can't do that. But nothing is past this guy. This guy he's an actor. Let's just be honest with you. He's an actor, and he calls his outfit a costume, and I believe he's playing a clown who happens to rule the most corrupt nation over in Europe. And apparently the Oscars are on Sunday, but go ahead and give him the award for Best Supporting Jackass right now at this point, because what an embarrassment for not only his country, and I feel sorry for the people of Ukraine. I want to be very sympathetic here. There's a lot of good people in Ukraine that want this war ended, but unfortunately there's too much money in the war right now, and I think Zelensky wants to keep engaged in this bloody conflict. And I know as Americans, myself, I don't want to speak for you guys, I want this thing to end. I want the bloodshed to end no more.
His behavior is somewhat typical of Europe as a whole, kind of narcissistic, kind of in denial of reality, right? I mean, that's kind of what we see. So can you hang with us, Brian, through the commercial break here for a sec?
No problem.
Okay. Brian's going to hang with us.
We just got to our hotel. We got to check in, but I can hang out.
All right. 3 minutes. A couple more questions for the great Brian Glenn joining us here live from Studio 6P. We'll do it when we get back right after this. Let's bring Brian up so we can ask him the quick questions here. We'll do it in the break. This will be special for the social media audience. So, Brian, we're live on social media, so we'll do it now so we can check in and let you go. My last one was
social media.
Yeah, there you go. My last one was just quick. What was the plane ride like down there after this whole thing?
Ooh, very nice. There's about 13 seats in the back of the plane where the press sits, all first-class seats, got some televisions up back there, playing Fox News. The meal was terrific. I had chicken, mashed potatoes, asparagus, key lime pie, and a Coke. It was great. Sat next to Mary Margaret with the Daily Wire. She sat next to me. Luke sat on the other side. No, it was a great ride. It's a great ride. What an experience, though. I will say this. You can't really take pictures. You can't take videos, things like that. So, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of documentation of that. But I did get some pretty cool stuff. Hey, real quickly, since we're on the break, I'll show our social media. Here's the special kind of a rundown. Yeah, I did. No, this is kind of a rundown of the flight, and let me see. This is my favorite part, guys. Hang on a second. I'm a cigar smoker. I've got President of the United States President SEAL Air Force One matches. So believe it or not, on Air Force One, they actually give you matches, which is something you can never take on a regular plane, I would imagine. And then, of course, I've got a fact sheet for Air Force One, tells you the history of the plane, the tail numbers, and all the significance of that. So, it was a very educational period.
Nice. So when you come back to New York, bring your matches. I'll take you for pizza, and then we can smoke cigars.
That is a deal. I will say this. I did use a urinal on Air Force One, and it's first class all the way. I don't have to bend over like that. I can stand up straight. I can do my business. There's you're not doing this. It had free breath mints, mouthwash, comb, toothpaste,
they have a guy in there with you,
lotion,
a nice towel.
Give a $5 bill tip.
Yes, no, we do not have that. That's at Mar-a-Lago, though. We do have that at Mar-a-Lago.
All right, Delgado, what's your question?
My question is, what was the room like after J.D. Vance did his Jimmy Superfly snook off the top rope and jumped in on Zelensky?
All right, hold that thought. 20 seconds. We're back on the network. Something. We'll deal with it then.
Okay, gotcha.
Then we'll let you go. 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Always an adventure on a Friday night. If you're in the chat and on social media, it's one of the reasons you watch us on social media, because you just got the inside look with Brian Glenn during the break. Information that we cannot repeat on the network because it was just too juicy there about urinals and other things. So we can't repeat that. So
it's classified.
But we had one last question, then we'll let Brian check in and relax for the evening because he's had a long day. JD Vance, can we all just clap up for the vice president? And he's the maverick to your top gun. He's your wingman that you want there, and he jumped in. What was the feeling in the Oval, or what was the media looking around at each other when JD came in there with the smackdown?
Yeah, there's no tag needed on that duo there. Yes, that is when I can officially say the conversation really started to take a turn for the other direction, because he called him out. And then, of course, there's a lot of chatter now that Zelensky dropped a profanity towards Vice President Vance. I can't confirm that. I don't speak Ukrainian, and so I can't confirm that. But it did get tense, and you could see it. Like, if you look at the video, and I know it's hard to tell because a lot of times I'm not in that shot, but I am absolutely right next to President Trump. The only thing separating me and President Trump is a table with a lamp. He's on the other side. I've got a straight shot at Zelensky, and then Vice President Vance is in front of me. And you could see the eye connection. I saw Hedseth looking. I mean, everybody was very serious at this point. The room definitely had you could hear a pin drop in that room. And by the way, when I walked out, some of the people talking behind me said, I've been doing this for decades, and I have never, ever seen the intensity in that Oval Office as we did today. So we all witnessed some history there.
Yeah. Well, when he was like, when he pulled this, you guys have a C. You have a C between you, but you're going to find out, and that's when Trump had finally had enough and said, "You're not going to tell us what we're going to find out." Like, I mean, the nerve of this guy. What do you mean you're going to tell us what we're going to find out? That's when it really, at that point, was off the rails.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounded like a threat. Matter of fact, my Uber driver to Joint Base Andrews today, we were talking about it, and he agreed. He said, hey, that's our president that stands up and says, oh, hell no. You're not going to tell me what to do, and you're not going to come here and disrespect our country. And when we've given you hundreds of billions of dollars, by the way, and ending this war is hugely popular with the base. We don't like this war to begin with. And for him to act like that, I can't believe it. It's something that we never, I thought we were going to have a deal, guys. I thought we were going to sign a deal, get the mineral rights. This war comes to an end. He does campaign promises. It's all over. Everyone in Ukraine is happy. We've got the war over. No, I don't know when he comes back. I know he was begging to come back in, and President Trump says, no, hit the road, but not before he went on Brett Baer on Fox News trying to save his butt from what just happened. So,
do you think he hits the road, or do you think he hits down to the Four Seasons and tries to sneak in on Monday?
Well, he might be coming to the Hilton here in Palm Beach looking for me, because apparently I had some friends that I know, and they go, hey, we've always knew it was kind of sketchy to hang around you because a lot of people don't like you, but after your comments tonight, I'm not staying anywhere around you. You've got Ukraine coming after you. So I got to count myself looking around the parking lot as well as I do this stand-up here. But, hey, proud to be there, proud to be here as a network. This is a victory for all of us in the conservative news media, the independent guys, the guys away from the legacy media. This is a win for all of us. The WHCA no longer can control who sits in the briefing room. That's going to be changed here shortly. And obviously, as I demonstrated tonight, they do not control who sits on Air Force One. And I'm my honor to be the first person since that decision to do it tonight, and I look forward to all of my colleagues joining me as well, and some other networks. I want us all to get in there and experience that and be able to take advantage of it.
Well, we're proud of you. We love it. We love it. You're killing it, and keep doing it. And thanks for giving us a few moments. We really appreciate it. We know you've had a long, historic day here, Brian, so we really do appreciate it, and you have a great sense of humor, and thanks for coming on.
Yep, I can't wait to get that pizza. It's the best pizza in the world.
You got it.
Stay safe.
You
Maybe
got
I can
it.
get
We'll
a
do it.
pizza.
What?
Hey, maybe I can get a pizza sponsor and then
Yeah.
a suit sponsor. Remember,
Yeah.
put on a suit. Brian Glenn said so. That's my tagline.
There you
I don't
go.
know if anybody's listening, but that's what it is. Put on a suit. Hey, put on a suit. You look better.
Hey, you.
Oh man, you know what? Hey Brian, I think we got a sponsor for you. Call up Joseph A. Bank and just start doing all their commercials. There you go.
You're tailor-made for that.
All right, Brian, thanks.
Put on a suit.
Yeah, you're tailor-made for that.
Put on a suit.
There he goes. All right, there he goes.
He's the best. I love him.
Oh, God, he is the
man.
best.
He is good.
Now, what's funny about that whole suit
He's
thing?
good.
Trump actually started it.
He started it outside. Yeah, I know.
Started it outside. You want to see? If you
Hey,
haven't
nice
seen
to
it,
yeah.
if you haven't seen it, here it is. Cut number 5
God.
as Trump
wanna see this.
greets Vladimir
Put on the
Zelensky and
I
points
think
out.
that's going to be a new shirt
Points out.
with Brian's face on
Yeah.
the bottom of it. Put on a suit.
I'm going to give it to Delgado.
He points out what Zelensky is wearing. Cut 5.
He's all dressed up today.
That set him off. I think that set him off right there. That had to.
Yeah,
They're all
he got
dressed
that
up.
outfit from like the World Economic Forum garage sale too.
Exactly.
Klaus Schwab threw away a couple seasons ago.
It's the Schwab selection.
Trump just gives zero you-know-whats.
Yep.
He just doesn't care.
Oh, he got dressed up. He's got sleeves.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Just too.
It's
too
just
funny.
brilliant.
We're out.
I listen. Listen. I do think the deal was important, and I do think the deal can get done. I do think this guy's going to have to try to save some face, though.
Yeah.
Not on Trump to do it. I mean, he was there. I mean, he is not.
He's there to make deals.
Yeah.
He wants this thing to end. He said so. He's campaigned on it, ending this, bringing peace to the region, getting this whole war stopped. And the only thing you got to do is play ball. That's the only thing you got to do. And you could see from, I don't know, did you see the cutaway to the Ukrainian ambassador when she saw this whole thing going down?
Yes.
This cut number 9. Take a look at this. This is while this whole thing is starting to fall apart in front of her face, and you could just see the angst that she's going through because she knows this is not going well. Cut number 9. Look at this.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire?
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about
Look at
ceasefire, what they think.
She's like, no, this
He
is
knows
not
it's
good.
over.
Yeah, she knows it's over.
Super Bowl is over.
She knows he just bit it.
Game over.
I mean, again, in all of the highlights things that I read on social media was ablaze after this, obviously. People were like, number one, you have to watch the whole 40 minutes. But when you get to that last 5-minute mark, he's clearly the antagonist.
Yeah.
He is clearly the antagonist here. And that's, of course, what everybody obviously saw. So, Jordan Slagle says, Zelensky essentially rejects how VP described the mandate of POTUS to conduct foreign affairs, and then he insinuates that Trump his first term, did nothing to stop Putin, which that's actually right. He did. He started to play this game with these dates, 2014. Right. Trump says, I wasn't here in 2014. And then he did to 2022. Number 2, he then basically tells Vice President Vance that his ideas are faulty and that the administration's diplomacy won't work. Then he also said to him, like, when have you been there? These are 2 comments that are deliberately antagonistic. Everything was all well and good, but Zelensky took 2 major shots in a public forum. They're forced to respond, and respond they did. Recall that this is a guy who interfered in our electoral politics and called VP too radical and bashed Trump in an interview with the New York Magazine weeks before the election. Zelensky is entirely at fault here. Well, I mean, you don't need to listen to Jordan Slagle on how about Lindsey Graham?
Yeah.
When you lose Lindsey Graham,
I was going to say the same thing.
Hey.
there's no questions left.
Yeah. Cut number 7. When you're talking about, as Damon just said, when you lose Lindsey Graham, who has never seen a piece of somebody else's country he doesn't want to have a war in.
His underwear is yellow and blue.
Right. Then you really, really have kind of crapped the bed. Here he is, cut 7. Check this out.
So, what do I think? Complete, utter disaster. I've been to Ukraine 8 or 9 times since the war started. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine. I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well. I talked to Zelensky this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance, standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelensky again. I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top. So I think the relationship between Ukraine and America is important, vitally important. But can Zelensky do a deal with the United States? After what I saw, I don't know.
Yeah. And he even expanded on that.
You lose Lindsey Graham.
He even expanded on that later in that taking questions. Here's cut 8, where he talks about Zelensky moving forward. Real quick, check this out. Cut 8.
Do you think President Zelensky needs to resign to resume these peace talks?
He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
Do you regret
What does that mean? I guarantee you he's been talking like this for 4 years to weak, pathetic people. Okay, yes, sir. Okay, sir. You ran into a buzzsaw today, chump.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? That first clip from Lindsey Graham, he says something that kind of slips by, but it's telling because he says Graham told him, don't take the bait. In other words, he said he saw him this morning with other people. So Democrats and Republicans were there with him.
I saw the picture. He was there with what's her name from Minnesota,
right.
Klobuchar.
I think the don't take the bait was don't listen to those guys and get into it with Trump. You're not going to do well. He's in a good mood. You can win this. You can come out looking good.
Right.
And he didn't listen.
Somebody told him he could get away with this.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was the Biden people, Susan Rice, somebody. It was theatrical. I mean, I know he wants to be back on Who You Think He Can Dance or whatever he did there. But I mean, it was just too outwardly obvious with the whole.
He got bad advice.
He's hanging out with Klobuchar and Lindsey Graham. Hello. What else says globalists like having breakfast with those two knuckleheads?
I know, right?
I'll have the New World Order, please.
To the NWO with a side of bacon, please.
You want white toast?
Oh, God, Brian Glenn. Hey, put on a suit.
That's great.
On the streets of Palm Beach, Brian Glenn. We got to turn that into a shirt, I think. Yeah. Put on a suit, Brian Glenn. Put on a suit. Yeah. We got to do something with that. That was too funny. He's looking into the stream.
He's going to be notorious for that.
Oh, God. Chat. What's going on? Chat. Yeah, put on a suit. Exactly.
You know what's funny is that Brian was like, he goes, I can't believe all the hate email he got.
Oh, I saw some.
It's like,
I couldn't believe it either.
It's like, why?
I mean, why is that not a legitimate question? You come here dressed like a clown? How is that not a legitimate question?
You're not being sensitive to his fashion style, Big.
I mean, you need Slick Rick in there giving him some.
Come
on.
I'll take him shopping with his wife's credit card.
He's got enough money. He can come on.
How about that wife? What a credit card. Aren't you spent $1 million in Beverly Hills?
Yeah.
And you guys are like the same size. He could probably raid your closet.
He probably could.
Yeah, you guys are about the same size. Did you see RFK Jr., by the way? He said, he tweeted today, I think it was actually legitimately his. I looked at it and laughed so hard, I should have checked it, but I'm pretty sure it was actually the verified account. He said, I just walked by Zelensky in the hall. Small man. I could bench him with one hand.
That's what I saw that too.
Did you see it?
Yes. I don't think that was his, though.
Oh, it wasn't?
I don't know if that was his.
That in.
Oh, I
because
I swear, I thought it was
RFK,
really his.
It said RFK, and then there was a parenthesis, and I didn't read the rest.
Oh, I didn't see the rest either.
But it was pretty funny.
That was funny.
Because he probably would have thought it.
Did you know that video of him benching?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was really him.
Benching with jeans and
then
no
he wrote
shirt.
Maha at the end. Racing Banshee, hello on X. Drag Blacker, live from Studio 6B. You put on a suit. Big D, why no loyalty points last night?
What does that mean?
Oh, my God.
Oh, okay. Definitely tonight.
You got to double up tonight.
Definitely tonight. Double up?
But no, I can't spend your money like that.
Damon, what's with that sweater?
Garbo says hello to everyone.
Put on a suit.
Put on a suit.
Yeah.
Hello, Kathy Granville on Facebook. Helms Siggy 636 on, what is that? Kick, I guess?
Right author says Damon in a suit with flip-flops.
Yeah.
You're not far off.
Patriot Kelsey's watching in Pennsylvania.
RD Bull, Damon in a suit will be easy. Putting on regular shoes.
Not so much.
So much. What can I tell you?
Too funny.
Did Brian Glenn tell Zelensky to put on a suit? I missed that. Commander Mike on X, yes.
Good for him.
Damon is disrespectful.
To who?
Everyone.
Lorraine on YouTube says. All right, 13 to the hour live from am I on air when I do these stupid singing things coming in? I am?
Of course you are. I'm not going to put you on if you're not.
I bet I should stop. 13 to the hour live from. I like these tunes. 13 to the hour live from Studio 6B.
Nice save.
All right, let's do some regular stuff here before we get to hour two because we got some things to do in hour two. So let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Slick's got it. What's going on, Slickster?
All right, big deal. Let's get to the scoreboard real quick. NCAA men's basketball in action tonight. Light schedule, but we got Davidson right now trailing VCU 68-51 and UCLA trailing Purdue 30-27. Let's see, 3 minutes to go there in the second with the VCU game and 2 minutes to go in the first quarter with Purdue. NHL action, the Rangers in the Garden trailing to the Maple Leafs 2-1 there. 1 minute to go there in the second. Stars over the Kings 3-1, end of one. Wild take on the Avalanche at 9 p.m. NBA action, we got the Pistons trailing the Nuggets 100-77, 3 to go there in the third. At the half, the Celtics over the Cavs 74-64, and the Hawks trailing the Thunder 71-64 at the half as well. Let's go to the rodeo. Friday night rodeo. Big D, the season's starting to heat up.
To the rodeo.
Come on now, this ain't a big rodeo, but it's a rodeo just the same. We're going to go to Nebraska. Here we go. We got Rodeo Grand Island. And this is, let's see, steer wrestling leader Chase Crane, 3.7 seconds. Team roping, we have Chud Grover and Clay Ellis, 5.4 seconds. Tie down roping, Tyler Milligan and Ty Moser, both in a tie, 9.4 seconds each. Can't make that one up. Barrel racing, Amy Schmicky, 12.61 tenths, and total pay on that $36,000 on the rodeo. We have a couple other rodeos going on tonight, but I'll do one at a time as we get to them if I have time tonight. And we had, wow, this was some story, Big D. Ready for this one? Dale Whitnell records 2 hole-in-ones in Friday's first round of South African Open. I've never heard of 2 hole-in-ones in one course on one day. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart reporting. British golfer Dale Whitnell had himself a day as he recorded not 1 but 2 hole-in-ones during Friday's round of the South African Open as part of the DP World Tour. Whitnell, 36, recorded the 2 improbable shots on the par 3 and the 12th at Durban Country Club. This is not to say that something went great for Whitnell. He finished with 9 under, including a 3rd eagle, 7 birdies, 2 bogeys, and a double bogey. However, he made the cut. I was struggling to make the cut, so I knew I needed to go out and play well and got off to a hot start, as they would say, Whitnell said after Friday's round. Birdied the first and then hit a flush 7-iron on the second and didn't realize it until it went in until down the bottom. They sort of cheered. That was lovely. It was lovely indeed, as the world's 545th ranked golfer got a chance to sample the applause and media attention usually reserved for the game's highest stars. So Whitnell ended up eagling the par 5 third, and as a reward had to wait 9 holes until his second ace. Could you imagine that? Unbelievable. So pretty good stuff there, Big D. And now that's a wrap in sports for this segment.
All right, very good, Slick. I saw the kid shoot 59 the other day. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was real good. That was
59.
Yeah, 59 for 18 holes. That's usually I'm heading towards the.
That was Jake Knapp. That was Jake Knapp. Yeah, Delgado likes that guy, Knapp.
Yeah. He rules.
All right, Slick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. Kevin Downey Jr. series, the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, 9 to 11 weekdays right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Mr. Downey Jr., what's going on?
Well, check this out. You know that guy who got shot? He was the CEO of a healthcare company, and everyone made him a hero. Well, believe it or not, there's a copycat.
United Healthcare.
The CEO of State Accident Insurance Fund, a guy named Chip Terhune. Someone perforated his house at 4 a.m. Boom, 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 boom. Shots all over the joint. Shot up the house. I think they shot his car. And he had to send a message to everyone where he works saying, hey, I've been attacked. Everyone be careful. I don't know who else is on the list. But this is after, I believe Luigi Mangione has about $600,000 that people have donated to him. And he's getting so many nude pictures from women. He's asked them to just limit it to your 5 top nude selfies, please. Because he's getting too many. He doesn't have time to look at them all day. But this is exactly...
He's got skin in the game.
Maybe Zelensky should have sent in before the meeting tonight the 5 things he did this week. Maybe it would have taken the edge off.
I did not shop for a suit. That's one thing he did not do.
That would not have been on the list.
So, 4 a.m., this guy hears what he thinks are rocks being thrown at his house. Turns out they're bullets. So, you know what? I was just checking in on this Luigi guy. They are still making a hero of him. And when you do that, folks, when you make a hero of an animal, then, you're going to have more animals. That's just the way it is. Who's the guy that just got booted by his own party? He was a rep in Michigan. I'm sorry, from New York.
Joe Biden?
No, that's not Hakeem Jeffries. He just got booted. He was too much of a Marxist. This is the guy who put up, remember he rang the alarm?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Jamal Bowman.
Yes,
Jamal Bowman, thank you. Jamal Bowman, when he was a teacher, he had photographs of cop killers around his classroom, and it was the wall of heroes. When you glorify bad behavior, you will get more bad behavior. And I promise you, the left is still pumping this story because they want more animals to go out and do stuff like this. That's why that woman said, hey, Mr. President, have mercy on the trans people. Well, that's funny you should say that, because in the past 3 weeks, a trans person attacked a Tesla dealership. They killed a border guard. And another one planned a school mass shooting that didn't go through. There's been a lot of, and I'm telling you, we should talk about MK Ultra at some point. But I'm telling you, the lefty press is riling up the bozos. And that's what I think is going on here. And I wouldn't be surprised if another CEO doesn't wake up to find someone ventilating his house or his head, wherever they're going to shoot him this time. This guy, clearly, if you're shooting someone's house at 4 a.m., you probably just want to send a message and not kill somebody. Because it's probably, who's walking around at 4 a.m.?
Right.
Unless it's me naked eating shredded cheese.
Yeah.
All right, what else in the news, Kev?
I don't know. The naked shredded cheese thing is, that's pretty good news right there.
Yeah. So,
cheese balls.
This Swamp Wiggler, he's the top DOJ spokesman. Joshua Stuev, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. He resigned today from the DOJ. Toxic work environment, because I guess he hates that he has to work now. So, and here's his crybaby goodbye letter. Simply put, I cannot continue to serve in such a hostile and toxic work environment where leadership at the highest levels makes clear we are not welcomed or valued, much less trusted to do our jobs. Well, no, you're a swamp wiggler, you idiot. You've probably done very little. See, here's the thing about the deep state. This is the reason D.C. is 95% Democrat. They're all part of the same club, and they exist to rob from the treasury and cover each other's bahookies. All right, but this guy decided he's out because he has to leave. And we're going to see more people leaving, and we're going to see more whistleblowers. And the whistleblowing has already started. But this guy, he had to bail. That tells me he sees the writing on the wall. He knows. He knows he's going to have to put pants on, go to the office. He's not happy about that. So he's going to play the victim card and bail. But I think we're going to see more of this, Big D. I think as it becomes clearer and clearer that the deep state can't stop Trump, you're going to see them flee like rats on a ship.
Well, they certainly are looking they're looking to try to get their footing, and obviously they're trying to gleam on to this, what happened today. And of course, they're all out there with these statements and how they just can't believe what happened today. They're so outraged by what happened in the Oval Office. But I mean, it's again, it just.
And I think the more they do this, the more your average normal, if you're watching this show, you probably know more than your normie neighbor, as I like to call them. But every time they do something stupid like this, come around, oh, look at Trump, he's being so bad. People are walking away from mainstream media. That's why there are more and more people watching Real America's Voice, because this is where you get real news, and they're just chasing people away. They only have that one playbook. And I just heard someone just called Trump the orange, Jasmine Crockett, he's the orange Jesus. That is
that's the new Dems. That's the new Dems front girl. I've been telling you that now. But keep sending her out there. All right, Jack Posobiec's on stage. Let's send it out to him. Coming up. We're hitting the break. All right, we're not hitting the break. We're going to not take the break. We're going to throw to Jack Posobiec live in Texas with the boys from Patriot Mobile. Harry on the highway. Let's go there.
In the Oval Office yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most outspoken, influential, up-and-coming young people. I can say that because he's younger than I am. I think we're different generations, actually. My friend, Jack Posobiec. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen of Tarrant County, ladies and gentlemen of Fort Worth, the last time I was here, what was it, October, right, Bo? It was October? September. All right, it was September. It was a little bit of a blur last year. September 2024, I came here and I made a promise and I said, we are going to save this country and Donald Trump will be elected. Ladies and gentlemen, we are saving the country. Donald J. Trump is your president of the United States of America. We are 1 month and 1 week. We are 5 weeks into the Trump administration. Can you believe it's only been 38 days? 38 days and a wake up that Donald J. Trump has restored the freedom, restored the prosperity, and today restored the dignity of the American people. Bo is right. I did have the absolute honor and privilege of being in the Oval Office yesterday with President Trump and with Vice President Vance, with a number of people there. Folks, you need to know what they are putting together with this administration, what they are putting together with this cabinet. I truly believe you are looking at the best assembled cabinet in modern history. That's what you're looking at. When 1776 came around, we saw that generation of founding fathers. And you saw they all came together and they all had a key specific role to play. We know that. We know. And Glenn Story and the folks at Patriot Mobile, they work so hard to teach our people that and to even teach our children that, like my kids who are right here now. But what we see now, again, is this idea of a team that's put together. that was forced to come together by an out-of-control federal government, an out-of-control international global order that was pushing lies and censorship on the American people, that was stealing jobs, sending them to China, that was importing cheap foreign labor, a movement that was turning our children trans, that was going and sexualizing our children. And I'm telling you folks, if you think they were doing it to try to destroy the United States of America, I'm telling you, it was not done by mistake. These people stand for the destruction of everything we love. These people stand for the destruction of our values. And why do you think the very first target that they made was Almighty God in the public square? Folks, we are bringing it all back. We are bringing God back to the public square. This country has always been a country that is one nation under God. Under God. And when we put God first, that is how our country is led by our North Star, our Almighty Creator, God, our Lord Almighty in heaven. That is how you lead the United States forward. And I think that in a place like Texas, that message might get a pretty good reception. I'm just saying. This country went down the wrong track when we took God out of public. We know this. We know this. On Easter Sunday and on Holy Week, you used to be able to see in New York City the 3 crosses of Calvary. They're right there. Now, when you go to New York City, what do you see in the skyline? You see the trans flag. You see the LGBT flag. You see every single other flag. And let me tell you, what they have done is a cultural revolution from our traditional Western values here in the United States of America. Well, let me tell you something. If they want a revolution, they've got one. Because this is the second American Revolution. And you are all part of it. We are all living it right now, because if they want to take the soul of this country, they've got to go through us. If they want to take the soul of this country, let me tell you something. The soul of this country runs through Tarrant County, and the soul of this country runs through Texas. And I'll even say that as a Pennsylvania guy, right? We got some Pennsylvania folks here. But look, that's what it's about. Because yes, you're right, I am from Philadelphia area. But you know what? I used to grow up going to Independence Hall, where they wrote the Constitution and the Declaration. And I used to sit there and learn about what our founding fathers put together, what Ben Franklin told us, a republic if you can keep it. And I don't know, I guess I'm the only kid on the field trip that actually listened and opened my ears and paid attention, with ears to hear and eyes to see. And then we went over, and we also would grow up every single week. My brother's here too. Where's Kevin? There he is. Every single weekend, Kev, where do we go every weekend? Valley Forge. Valley Forge is where we spent every weekend. And my wife, Tanya Tay, is here. We got married in a church in Valley Forge. That is how close we understand the Valley Forge generation. And if you understand that Valley Forge moment, and that picture that we still have hanging of General George Washington praying with his horse in Valley Forge, understand that moment. That moment was when America was hanging on by a thread. The soldiery, they were starving, they were freezing, they had no shoes. You had Martha Washington was darning socks for them in the winter. The British had taken New York. The British had taken Philadelphia. The Continental Congress had fled out to York, Pennsylvania. They didn't have anything left, but you know what they had? Full faith and reliance on divine providence in Almighty God. That is what they put through in Valley Forge. That is what carried this country forward in 1776, in the first American Revolution, and the second American Revolution, which I will tell you is not finished. It is only just begun, and we will only be successful if we maintain our full faith and providence in our Almighty God. That is the only way through. That is the only way that we will be successful. And success is not measured by Donald Trump winning elections. Success is not measured by us getting into office. Though, of course, Bo, winning elections, getting out of office is important. We're going to do all that. We're going to do all that. But this is the challenge I'll throw out here, because I understand that in so many of these red states, Oklahoma has this issue, the Dakotas have this issue, and yes, unfortunately, even Texas has the issue. And this is breaking news even to me, there is a new invasive species that has just been categorized and classified here in Texas by the Trump administration. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that invasive species is the Texas Rhino. And the Texas Rhino, guess what? It's just been declared open season on the Texas Rhino. Because they're an invasive species, and they shouldn't be here. There's too many people that shouldn't be here. And we are going to work together with the open season. We're going to work with Bo. We're going to work with everyone here, because the Texas Rhino has got to go. I'm sorry, the Texas Rhino has got to go. No more of this nonsense where people just walk up and say, oh, I'm a Republican, look at me, I've got my cowboy hat, I've got my six-shooter, and then they go up to Austin and they vote with the Democrats, they vote with corporate America, they push liberal values. I'm sick of it, we're sick of it, and it's all going to stop, because we're going on a rhino hunt, ladies and gentlemen. Look, Lee said it earlier today, or I'll give her credit for this line because I heard it and it was so great. We're going to make Texas, Texas again. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And God bless the great state of Texas.
I'm just glad I don't have to speak after him. Jack always brings the heat. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the evening now. No, not where I ask you for money, but if you want to donate, there's cards on your table and QR codes and all that. You can start doing that now, so you don't have to stand in line later. We're not letting you out without giving a little more money. But it's that time of the evening where we're going to talk about our keynote speaker. You know, I first became aware of Steve Bannon with Breitbart News. And, you know, Breitbart really opened a lot of people's eyes and changed the game. Steve went on to be the CEO of President Trump's 2016 campaign. And obviously that changed the course of history. He was also in the Trump White House, Trump's senior advisor, and guided, you know, the first year or so of Trump's presidency. And so we are truly blessed to have him here now. He hosts a daily podcast. Can everybody hear me okay? He hosts a daily podcast called The War Room, which I'm sure you know about. Yeah. He's one of the most passionate, insightful, bright, incredible people in our movement. And talk about taking out the rhinos. There's no bigger advocate of that than, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Bannon.
Yo! We got some fighters here tonight. Hell yeah, we're in Texas. Not just that, we're in Tarrant County. Thank you. Look, it was a hell of a day today, was it not, in Washington, D.C.? Yeah. And we saw the entire issue, the entire problem we've got, not just in Washington, D.C., but the problem we've got in Texas, right? President Trump's trying to be magnanimous, right? President Trump is trying to be a global leader, to bring peace to the Eurasian landmass, correct? And he's got Zelensky in there, and we know that in the vital national security interests of the United States of America is not the Russian-speaking eastern border of Ukraine, correct? The vital national security interest of the United States is the border on the Rio Grande Valley and in South Texas. And what did President Trump do in the last 24 hours? He threatened to put 25% tariffs on Mexico and got the president down there to finally, after 30 years, cough up 29 capo regimes of the cartels, correct? That's leadership. That's the border we care about, right? That is what's trying to destroy Texas. Hell, we have 100,000 fentanyl deaths every year, right? That's what President Trump is worried about, the vital national security interests of the United States. Now, he's being a peacemaker as part of this rapprochement with Russia. And we need a rapprochement with Russia because the Russian people were our greatest ally in World War II. 65 million Russians died either through starvation or battlefield against the Germans, against the Wehrmacht. All those leaders of NATO, all of them, virtually, didn't fight with us in World War II. England did, some French did, a handful of Poles did, Jack Posobiec. More than a handful, okay, a lot of them. But their leaders were all supported the fascists in Spain, in Italy, in Germany, in Vichy France, in Norway, in Scandinavia, in Sweden. My beloved Ireland. They were not on our side. The Russian people were on our side. It's time. President Trump wants to bring peace to the world, and here he wants peace and prosperity. And Zelensky has the gall. Zelensky has the gall to show up to the White House, and he's going to sit there, and here's why it happened. He went to the Hay Adams Hotel right before, and all these Rhino senators, right, all these Rhino senators had a meeting with him, had a breakfast with him, and he thinks he's got cards. He thinks he can control it, right? He goes into Trump, and he's arrogant as all get out, and Trump says, yo, dude, you have no cards, right? You have no cards. Without our money and our troops, hell, for the first time in our history, the first time, we had the president of France and we had the prime minister of the United Kingdom within 72 hours of each other. And what are they doing? They're behind closed doors and they're talking about, oh, we want to put up troops, we're going to put up money. They have put up no money and they've put up no troops, and they're not going to. They want an American security guarantee and they want American money. We don't have the money and we don't have the troops, and we have no interest in Ukraine and two Slavic entities going at each other. We have what we're concerned about is the southern border of the state of Texas. Hell, they got the CIA now. All the assets are coming back for Ukraine. They're doing flights over Mexico. President Trump's getting ready. He's trying to stop the kinetic part of the Third World War that's happening in the Eurasian landmass, right? In the Middle East and in Ukraine. But he's getting ready to start the kinetic part of the war against the cartels. They know that, right? We got to cut off their banking. We got to cut off their finance. We got to get down there. We got to do a paramilitary operation. We got to tell Mexico, step aside, because we're going to take them all out, and we're going to take them out now. They've killed 100,000 Americans a year. The Chinese Communist Party, this fentanyl is chemical warfare. This is the second opium war against our people. And the center of gravity of that is the great state of Texas. How can we sit here and accept this? Right? How have your local officials accepted this? How has your governor accepted this? You know what happened after President Trump, and this has never happened in American history. He showed the door to Zelensky. Zelensky's supposed to be there for lunch, and then he's going for a press conference. He sends everybody to the Roosevelt room, and he sits there, and he says, hey, Marco, you and Waltz go in there and tell him to get out of here. Okay? Go, leave. He threw him off the lot. That's never happened. At the moment he threw him off the lot, what happened? On Fox News. Who shows up on Fox News? Karl Rove. You heard of Karl Rove? You heard of Karl Rove? Well, hey, hang on. He tells me he's a Texan, right? He says he's from Texas. You know what? Another round of drinks for my people. You know what he said? Now listen, look what President Trump's trying to do. Every day, and this is amazing, President Trump has these bilats, but he has world leaders come, and guess what? He has a press availability, but then he takes 10 questions from the press. And then he's got the press conferences, or he's on the plane, or he's in the cabinet room. You're seeing American history in the making. They say there are decades in which nothing happens, and there are weeks in which decades happen. Hell, that's this week, and you see it all. President Trump wants to draw you in. You know why? He understands his power is with the American people. He wants the American people to see it. No more closed doors. In Washington, D.C., not in the room, not in the deal, right? He put MAGA, he put his supporters and all the American people, not just in the deal, he put you at the head of the table. And Karl Rove comes up there and you know what he says? The problem today is that President Trump invited the press and did that publicly. He should have done it behind closed doors, then they can work it out. Is that not how Austin runs? Is that not how D.C. runs? They want to do it behind closed doors. What are they trying to hide from us? You know what they're trying to hide. Their self-dealing, their corruption, their incompetence. President Trump will put it right out there. This never happened before in American history. And this is the faith that he has in people. And this shows you the central part of the problem is what you have here in Texas. Because as Tarrant County goes, so goes Texas, right? As Texas goes, so goes MAGA. As MAGA goes, so goes the United States of America. And as the United States of America goes, so goes the world. It's ground zero here, and you know why? Amen. The world's an efficient market. George Soros, how much money did he put in here over years to turn Texas blue? Right? $400 million. And it got a little pink, right? It got a little pink. And then you guys stood up and had Trump's back. And what do we have today? Donald Trump won the 2024 race by 14 points. Hell, brother Ted Cruz won by 9. Because what you're doing is you're taking Texas off the map, right? That's a huge opportunity cost. It's you guys that are doing it. But now we need more Texas in Washington. We need it. We got to get tougher. We got to get meaner. Look, President Trump, remember, President Trump, that deal today, there are many people to his right, of which I consider myself one, that said, hey, here's what we ought to do, Mr. President, walk away. Not one penny, not one truth. Tell the Europeans if they're such big shots, you write the checks. We bailed them out in World War I. We bailed them out in World War II. We bailed them out in the Cold War. We're not going to do it again. We have to take care of America. It's got to be America first. Has to be American citizens first. Where's Todd Bensman? Todd Bensman here. Bensman. Todd Bensman, where are you, brother? Bensman, where are you? Stand up. This is one of the bravest guys. Hold it. We got to get this guy. Hold it. This guy has risked his life going the Darien Gap for years to show America this invasion of the country. An invasion that took place and came through the Rio Grande Valley and it came through South Texas. And hopefully one day, in not too short a future, he's going to be working with Tom Homan to begin the mass deportation that has to happen. And this is politically what's going to win for us. The most Hispanic county in this country is Starr County, Texas, right? Hard scrabbled, 97% Hispanic, working class. Hillary Clinton, and I thought I did a pretty good job in 2016. We lost it by 60%, 60 points. President Trump in 2024 won it by 16 points. The working class Hispanics are with us. The middle class Hispanics are with us. 39% of African American men voted for Donald Trump. Our coalition grows every day, grows more powerful every day. But we have to deliver for them. And delivering for them is not getting sucked up into what all the media in the afternoon, oh, this is terrible. President Trump, it was terrible. You know, he treated Zelensky with no set. And did J.D. Vance do a good job? J.D. J.D. Whoa! Right there. Suck on that, Zelensky. Yeah. Take that. Hey, Zelensky, take that back to Davos. Right? Have those Davos guys. Right, clean that wound. They're all saying it was a setup. It was not a setup. I don't know if you had a chance. So it was 45 minutes long, 46 minutes long. And President Trump was very gracious. He was very magnanimous. He tried to work with Zelensky. They tried to go through it. It was Zelensky's arrogance. And he's entitled. He's arrogant. You know why? They think they deserve American money, that we're just going to be the suckers we've ever been. Right? We're going to send our troops over there. Remember, the core of MAGA pays the taxes. The core of MAGA's pension funds and savings are what powers the oligarchs in Silicon Valley, what empowers American industry, what empowers private equity and venture capital. And most importantly, it's their money that has been and moved the jobs, the factories over to China, to move the jobs, all the high value added jobs over to China or in India. And it's their sons and daughters that are in the 101st Airborne Brigade in Romania on the border of Ukraine. It's their kids on those two battle groups in the Red Sea keeping the Suez Canal open so trade can go from the Persian Gulf and Asia up until Europe. It's their kids that are walking patrol in the Hindu Kush. It's the sons and daughters of the working class and middle class in this country, and not the elites, that keep this country safe and die on foreign battlefields of this country. And you expect them to go to Ukraine and be a backstop? Here's your backstop. That. Backstop that. Backstop that. President Trump now, and this is where I think we've seen a pivot. Look, it's 32 days or 33 days. Hell, half of you people have not sobered up from the inauguration. You're still on a high from that. It's 32 days. Every day is Christmas Day. It's days of thunder and years of lightning. There's 10 or 12 things every day. Hell, he did another 4 or 5 things, including making English the official language of the United States of America. That's a sidebar, huh? Just a sidebar. Come on. But you know why this happened. You know why this happened. When they ran him out of town after stealing the 2020 election. Come on, folks. The 2020 election was stolen, flat out. Flat out. That's the railhead. That's the railhead. And it was providential. I was there. I had a ringside seat in 16. I came in with like 100 days ago, 90 days ago, I don't know, 8, 10, 12, 14 points down. Who knew, right? But we had a man, we had a message, we had a plane, and we had an audience called working class people. Right? And we defeated her and the Clinton mafia, who were so arrogant. She didn't go to Michigan. She didn't go to Wisconsin. She barely went to Pennsylvania. Those working class people didn't deserve her to go there. Donald Trump went, and that was providential. That was providential. We literally had nothing. The stealing of the 2020 election was also providential. The hand of God worked. Think about it. If President Trump had another term back to back, right, of all the hate and discontent, what we got to see is the spiritual warfare this republic's under. We got to see the demonic nature of our opposition. What they did is not human. What they did is demonic. Look at the cultural issue, but look at this. Right now, we got a bill in front of us for the deportations. It's $175 billion. Ben's been on $175 billion. 175. What in the hell did they do for 4 years? Who did they let in this country? They understand there's 10 to 12 million illegal alien invaders have come here just since Biden took the oath of office, right? We saw culturally what they're trying to do. Look at what's happened in the schools. Look at how they ran the COVID. This was a totalitarian dictatorship to crush you. And remember, to crush Trump. They never thought Trump was coming back. When Trump left Andrews Air Force that day, they thought he was gone, right? Two things brought him back and brought the days of thunder. Number one, the precinct strategy. What we did is just people started... Because guess what? You get a rally point. It's just like in any military conflict. Okay, we took one on the chops. They stole it, but guess what? We were out of power. So what do? You go back to basics. You've got to move the chain, and that's what happened, the precinct strategy. And then people started taking over counties, and people started taking over parties. Look at what happened in Texas, right? Look at what happened in Texas. You guys turned around the Texas Republican Party to a MAGA party. That was day in and day out, people that had not been that involved in politics. But also, at the same time, certain public intellectuals, certain people that had been with the first term, Brooks Rollins at the America First Policy Institute, right? Dr. Roberts at Heritage, right? Russ Vogt at CRA, the Center for Renewing America, right? You had Stephen Miller at the America First Law. You had DeMint, you had Jim DeMint Meadows, you had the CPI, you had 5 or 6 groups, and what were they doing at the time? And it's called, under the headline, the name that should not be mentioned, Project 2025, right? You damn right, because it said 25 for a reason, because we knew we were going to win and we had to be ready this time. All those years, not just thinking the policy verticals, but also the teams. Remember, we get 3,000 people can hit the deck plates running day one. It's to build those cadres, to get that interaction, to make sure that people know subject matter experts. This is why every day is Christmas Day. It's not 2 or 3 things, it's 10 or 12 things. Been working on them for years. This is why the left is totally overwhelmed. This is why they're on their back foot. This is why they're saying, oh, Elon's the worst person in the world. Elon's doing a hell of a job on Doge, right? I got a lot of issues with Elon, but one of them is not Doge. He's a blunt force instrument, and he's giving the administrative state blunt force trauma, right? They don't even know what hit him. But it's every day. It's something. Listen, this tariff strategy is brilliant. Now is it geoeconomically? It's just not. He's not looking at 25% tariffs on a Mexican avocado, and he's not looking for a 25% tariff on some under the hood engine part from Canada. He's looking at changing and getting revenues that this is a premium market. If you want access to this market, and why is it a premium market? Because of Burke's little platoons. It's civic society. It's the little guy. It's the little league coach. It's the nurse. It's the cop. It's the kindergarten teacher. It's Grapevine, Texas. It's here. It's Tarrant County. That underpinning of civic society is why people want to put their money in the United States of America, right? He says this is a premium market, and like any premium market, and this is the way Trump thinks, hey, you buy a skybox for a sporting event or a front row ticket for a concert, you're going to pay a premium to get here in the United States to get access to this market, or you're going to move your manufacturing here and you're going to create jobs. It's brilliant. The External Revenue Service. Anything better, right? He just sits there and goes, why in the hell is it all internal revenue? Remember, Hamilton is a pretty smart guy. He came up with the American plan. Up until the early part of the 20th century, there was no internal revenue, right? We all did it from tariffs and duties and customs. This is what Trump wants to get back to, and it's brilliant. And it's got the world's attention, right? Mexico, the left-wing president of Mexico coughed up 29 Kappa regimes. You broke in 24 hours the hold the Mexican left has had and the partnerships they've had with the cartels. This is the way you fight a war. This is the way you fight a war like the Chinese, unrestricted warfare. He's going to hit them with cyber. He's going to hit them with financial. He's going to hit them psychologically, politically, every different way. And when he finally gets down there with the CIA paramilitary and maybe a couple, 3 folks from the 82nd and 101st Airborne. He's going to take them out of Romania. He's going to send them down to northern Mexico, and they're going to leave a lot of dead, bad hombres, okay? And there's not going to be any fentanyl crisis. There's not going to be 100,000 people a year dying. It's obscene. So what does President Trump need? Because now we're going to get down to it, okay? Today, and you're seeing the whole media, it's a firestorm. Trump's terrible, Trump's awful, Trump's this, although a couple of 3 people in the Ukrainian parliament are calling an emergency meeting for tomorrow to begin impeachment proceedings on Zelensky. Right? You don't show respect to the United States of America as much as the United States of America has done for Europe. As many dead that we left on battlefields over there. Hell, the 8th Air Corps, I think there's 30 or 40,000 young men. We never even found their bodies. Right? Never even found their bodies. That's what America sacrificed for Europe in World War I, in World War II, in the Cold War, throughout the entire world. We never think of ourselves. And the working class of this country, they're not looking for a handout. What they're looking for is not to have a country that they have to have people who are not born here compete for jobs of American citizens. We have to clean that up. It's going to get cleaned up, but here's the tough part it's going to go. Right now, the budget, the CR, the reconciliation, you're about to go through tough times. We cannot kid ourselves anymore. This is why MAGA is so important. This is why you as a cadre are so important. You're tough, you're smart, and you understand we're going to have to take some political pain, right? It's a $2 trillion deficit as far as the eye can see. It's going to be $50 trillion. We're not just burying future generations, we're burying ourselves. Inflation, they just recast the fourth quarter inflation numbers, right? Because Biden's always recasting, right? They're creating millions of jobs, and next thing you know, well, it was only 100,000, right? Bureau of Labor Statistics, I think he's got 8 million jobs that they recast in Biden's regime. And by the way, in 4 years of the Biden administration, or the Biden regime, net not one job to a native-born American. All the jobs created went to foreign-born people. You can't have a country like that. You can't have the little guy that's competing with foreign labor in his own country, that his sons and daughters are on carrier battle groups. You can't do it. We're going to lose this country. And this is where it's going to get tough. They're going to have to be cuts. And you're going to have to be the people that have President Trump's back, just like we have President Trump's back on Zelensky. Now, look, they're all around him, and the Rhinos, and they had that lunch and breakfast with Zelensky, and Fox News. Brent Baer had Zelensky on. Are the Murdochs your friend? First off, talk about foreigners. I don't know if they're Australian or English or what the hell they are, but they're not Americans, I'll tell you that. Brent Baer's up there, and he's just lobbing it. Dude, it was coach pitch, right? He's just lobbing it up there for Zelensky. Well, do you apologize? Do you think? And Zelensky, no, niet, you know, nothing, right? Right, you know, Fox, and they have Karl Rove on there, and then they got Zelensky. Is Karl Rove, I guess he actually is a Texan. Is that how they run things in Austin, is behind closed doors? So here's what I don't understand. I don't think the president understands. I don't think anybody in MAGA understands. Listen, here's the deal. Here's what people can't understand. Soros put $300 or $400 million in to turn this state, right? And you guys, as given the lineage and history of Texans being tough and being focused, right? You turned it around and won by 14 points for President Trump. The greatest single victory we had was in the state of Texas, right? And Ted Cruz of 9. So the whole world's looking at Texas. And here's what I don't understand. How in the hell, after that happens, do you have not just a Rhino, but I actually think a Democrat as your Speaker of the House? It's one of the most powerful jobs in the country. No, how did that happen? How did that happen? It's the inside game. Now, here's another question. How does that guy then go and then pick all of his sub-chairmen or co-chairmen? They're all Democrats and all progressive Democrats. How does that happen? You understand the task in front of us, because I'm telling you right now, with the budget issues and the geopolitics and everything President Trump's got, he's got the CR, he's got the Doge cuts. We clearly got to do something with defense. We have to do something with Medicaid. We're going to have to do something with these other social programs. And it's not going to be easy, because it's not about race or ethnicity anymore. It's about economic distress. Hell, you go up in the American Redoubt, up in the center of Christian nationalism, up in Idaho and Montana. Hell, 80 or 90% of the babies are born on Medicaid. Working class people don't want to be on Medicaid. They want a damn good paying job for their labor and pay for their own insurance and get their own medical, or have their company do it. So we're going to go through a firestorm, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. And we're going to find out, remember, all these CEOs ran to him right away. You know, all the oligarchs, they all came to him. Of course, they came to him after 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 5th of November, right? When Pennsylvania fell, all of a sudden, that was their road. That's their Damascene moment. That's their road to Damascus. Hey, guess what? I'm MAGA, right? They're not MAGA. They're a bunch of progressive Democrats. They were created by progressive Democrats. We gave them, by the way, we didn't have any antitrust whatsoever. We made a deal with these guys. Since the deep state says we're a hegemon, right? We will grant you monopolistic power, right? We'll have no antitrust, no FTC. There'll be no pricing at all, and we'll allow you to become the richest people in the world and the most powerful, some of the most powerful people in the world. And the Faustian bargain is that you just have to give us the commanding heights of in the age of algorithms. In the algorithmic age, we have to have that, okay? So the two broad specters of that are social media, of which TikTok is a lethal weapon designed by the Chinese Communist Party that's so much more sophisticated than what these rubes have created, right? That now we either got to take it apart, sell it, shut it down. We don't know. That hell, it's so bad the Chinese Communist Party doesn't allow it in mainland China because they understand how addictive it is. And then on the other hand, on AI, on artificial intelligence, all of a sudden, wow, we have a Sputnik moment. It may be a Chinese psyop, but let's assume it's a Sputnik moment. The blunt force computing that was their methodology on artificial intelligence looks like overnight is not real. We got it. So for the Texas grid, right, as weak as your grid is, and sometimes it goes out in winter, right? They're talking about 10 times more power. You don't see these guys talking about the Green New Deal anymore. No Green New Deal. They need data center. They got to power data center. Hell, they're going to put them in national parks. They're going to put them all over the place, right? Think about it. They lost both wars. We gave them monopolistic power. They're not into markets or profits. They're into digital platforms and rent. They're rent seekers. We've allowed them to become monopolists. And so what's the first thing they asked for? The Wall Street guys in 2008 got bailouts of trillions of dollars, correct? To bail them out, and not one of them went to jail, right? I only think one of them went to trial. The oligarchs blow it against the Chinese Communist Party in the algorithmic age about both things that they're supposed to dominate, both of them, artificial intelligence and social media. What's the first thing they do? Go on TV. We need a Mercury space program, right? We need a Marshall program. They're asking for $500 billion bailout from people making $32,000 a year. Hell, this is as bad as Elon. In the first term, Elon used to come by every day. You know, his superpower is he's so relentless. He will come in every day and not remember the conversation the day before. I said, no, Elon, we're not giving you electric vehicle tax breaks. We're not going to have a person in West Texas making $26,000 a year that are underwriting you and your venture capitalists in Silicon Valley. It's not right, and it's not fair, and it's not going to happen. And President Trump had our back. These oligarchs are a problem. Here's why they're a problem. They're not progressives and you know, think of it like Rachel Maddow and the crazies on MSNBC or right wingers. They got a whole different deal. They're techno-feudalist, right? And deeper and more and scarier is that they're transhumanist, right? Transhumanist. Now, folks here And the values that have built Texas from a pretty tough and forbidding place into an economic superpower. Hell, Tarrant County would be the 37th or 38th biggest state as population. Hell, in GDP, you're probably in the top 15. You're a powerhouse. And look at the people that came before you, right? Look at what they sacrificed. Look at what they did. And you guys believe in the Judeo-Christian values of the Christian West, right? And what does that mean? We're made in the image and likeness of God and empowered by the Holy Spirit. That's not what these folks think. Hell, Homo sapiens, we've had, a 100,000-year run, a 200,000-year run, a 2 million-year run, right? And what do they think? They see the singularity and it's right there, and they only focus on one thing, and that's living forever, eternal life. You know why? They're godless atheists, and in their belief, the day it's over, it is over, okay? These people are very dangerous. And they're going to get to be a bigger and bigger and bigger problem. And everybody under 40 years old, as if you didn't have enough problems, right? No capital formation, inflation out of control, right? If you didn't have enough problems, now you're going to have a tough decision on your children. Because you worked hard and got into good schools and got good jobs by grinding away. Well, that's not going to be the future. You're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have a long conversation with your husband or your wife, your spouse or your husband, to sit there and go, do we chip our child, because that's how they're going to get in Ivy League schools? Do you want to be part? We're not ready for that as a society. Remember, Jesus sent the disciples, I think it's in Mark 13. I'm not exactly a Bible expert, but I remember some of it. My Catholic upbringing. I think it's Mark 13. Jesus sends the disciples out to go and teach, and they come back and they go, hey, we were healing the blind and we were making the lame walk and all these things were happening. And he goes, that's good. And he goes, yeah, but they didn't say because you're a good guy or the son of God. They said because you're Beelzebub, right? You're actually a devil, and and this is all black arts and black magic. Christ sat there and goes, there's only one mortal sin. There's only one unforgivable sin. To blaspheme the Holy Spirit. Is what they're doing as transhumanists not blaspheming the Holy Spirit? Are we not going to be held accountable for that? And I'm not saying we can't make progress in artificial intelligence or CRISPR, but we have to have a national conversation of exactly the hell where we're going. Because if we let these guys in the apartheid state of Silicon Valley have the mentality of 11-year-olds. If we let them make this decision for this civilization, I will guarantee you we are done. Because they don't care about the societal issues. What they care about is digital platforms, transhumanism, and rent. They are rent seekers. And they see this as a way to become even more powerful. That's why the firestorm that is in front of us, supporting President Trump, having his back on these cuts, it's just starting. And all these people that came aboard, and you saw a lot of them at the inauguration. I want you to remember the inauguration 1 year from now, and I want you to think about all those new faces you saw, particularly all the corporations, all his buddies, right? Oh, yeah, we love Trump. Yeah, we love MAGA. You guys are great. All they did was the math, and they saw the fact we have a coalition that's growing. And if we keep it together and focus on middle class and working class people and put their interests first, like turfing out Zelensky and send him the hell out of here, right? And focus on the Rio Grande Valley and in Starr County, Texas, right? We will govern for the next 50 years. But they're going to fade off, and they're going to leave Trump hanging out to dry. And that's why you, as a cadre, become more important than ever, right? The hardest days of this is not back in 2021. You remember how dark those days were? Remember how bad you felt? You knew that Trump had won and was stolen, and you're sitting there going, we're powerless. Trump's so powerful. Trump's such a strong man. Trump's such a leader. Hell, if they can steal it from Trump, what can I do? I'm just a little nobody, right? You bonded together, and that's where we took the long march back to the White House. That's your victory. It's coming again. The hardest days ahead of us, the hardest days are ahead of us. And that's why I like exactly who's on our side of the football. Because one thing I can tell you folks, you're as tough as boot leather. And you're going to have to be, because we're going to be betrayed. We're going to have people that spin off and say, all we got to do is you have to moderate, you have to moderate, you have to moderate. Do you want Trump to moderate? Hell no. We want all gas and no brake. We want all gas and no brake. We want all gas and no brake. Are you with me, Tarrant County? Are you going to have Trump's back? Can you send a message all the way to Washington, Austin, Texas? Because if you have his back, if you refuse to be defeated, if you do not retreat, there's nothing but victory and sunlit uplands ahead of us. Yo, let's fight, fight, fight. Come on, man, let me hear you. You think Trump can hear you? Send Zelensky out of this country. Let's get him down to the Rio Grande Valley.
The great Steve Bannon, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go, the great Steve Bannon.
Ooh. On your table.
All right, well, Steve was going to talk past 10, we thought, so we're back. Jack Posobiec and Steve Bannon there, live, Patriot Mobile, down in Texas, Harry on the highway there. Steve doesn't drink much decaf, I think, during the day.
No, zero.
He's fired up, that boy.
Zero.
He is always fired up. So,
and who said he, Kevin, KDJ, and Bannon, what? Comb their hair the same way or something like that?
No, same barber.
Same barber.
Yeah. All right, 45 past the hour. We'll take you to the top of the hour. We didn't think we were going to be back, but Steve wrapped it up. So we'll take you the last 15 minutes here into the weekend. Hope you do have a great weekend. Let's do some news, Delgado, since we haven't done any, really. Well, we know what the main stories are going on, obviously, but anything else going on today, or is that pretty much... So we have no answers on Pam Bondi.
We have no answers on Pam Bondi, which is unfortunate because I was hoping to at least have some kind of statement saying, okay, we got the delivery we were asking for, give us a couple days and we'll start releasing stuff. We didn't get anything. So unfortunately, that's all I've got on that. I don't know if you saw this, though. What do you call it? Megyn Kelly, I guess, took Rachel Maddow into the wood chipper and let her have it pretty good. I guess Rachel Maddow had some choice words about Megyn Kelly, which I missed. But, Megyn Kelly came right back. I guess it was because of the downsizing of MSNBC. Mm-hmm. And, of course, there's a big shakeup. They've let loose a bunch of hosts. They're reorganizing. I guess a bunch of Rachel Maddow's production team is being let go as well. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Rachel continues to pull in $25 million a year, but she tries to act like she's just one of the people. So Megyn Kelly scorches her here.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What?
Well, no, I just wanted to get. We have time, but do you remember who I said in the beginning of the show? I said, I want to know who got in Zelensky's ear. Who was the first person I mentioned?
Did you mention Lindsey? Or did you mention...
Last name Rice, first name Susan.
Oh, Susan, yeah. You did say that.
Put up my screen. Guess who was the first guest on MSNBC tonight? At 8 o'clock. That would be one Susan Rice.
What's that?
On talking about Zelensky meeting with Trump and Vance and how it, quote unquote, according to them, unravels into an extraordinary clash. Yes, there she is.
There she is. I don't think she was there, though.
I'm a little more convinced almost now that she's been speaking to him.
Somehow.
She may have been speaking to him, but I don't know if she was there with the senators and, the other House members that met with Zelensky.
Oh, no, she's not going to do it so we know. That's my whole point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's my whole point.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead. What was your clip now?
Here's Megyn Kelly scorching Rachel Maddow about the cuts to MSNBC and what we're seeing over there. Cut number one. Check this out.
You recently talked about Maddow's public complaints and sort of said that she should put up or shut up, basically, but also about her expensive real estate, about her homes. And I'm curious, do you have any compunction about getting that personal?
No. I would never give out her address. That would be a bridge too far, and it doesn't compare to what happened to Tucker in any way, shape, or form. But Rachel Maddow got out there and tried to act like, I'm a woman of the working class. I'm here to represent the poor staffers who could lose their jobs now as a result of Joy Reid biting it. And meanwhile, she's collecting $25 million a year. She's got multiple homes worth millions. You know what? Why don't you take a $2 million pay cut and save 10 of those jobs? If you feel that sad, you don't even have to pay it out of your bank account. Just tell them, pay me $23 million next year instead of $25. She won't do it. She wants to seem virtuous and sanctimonious, but in fact, she's only the latter because she won't actually put any money on the line. And an example of the exorbitant life she leads while she's trying to remind us, oh, I've worked so many jobs, the jobs I've worked, puts to the point her hypocrisy.
Aaron, put on my screen. And hopefully we have some sound here. Do you remember what Zelensky, just to dig into this a little more, Zelensky talked about today? What did he keep saying? 2 words he kept using. Security guarantees.
Right.
Did he not say that a couple times?
Yep. That was his big sticking point.
Here's Susan Rice tonight at 8 o'clock on with whatever her name is. Who cares?
Your reaction.
Well, Nicole, obviously it's a very sad day and an embarrassment for the United States on the world stage. What? But let's step back and analyze what's happened here. I think there's no question that this was a setup. You heard Donald Trump say at the end of that clip you played, this is great television. This was a setup. Volodymyr Zelensky was compelled to agree to a horrible deal that would have sent Ukraine's minerals to the United States without any concrete security guarantees. And yet, because he was trying to improve a relationship with Donald Trump, he came to Washington, he came to the Oval Office.
Okay, I heard enough. She's definitely the one. She and her cohort still from Obama are definitely the ones behind today. Using the same language like that, that's clearly what they're pushing him.
Wow.
To say, don't give into this deal, because they know this mineral deal, what it means for us, what it means to them, what it means to us being then in the country, it means to us getting the money back, the whole positioning of the whole thing. She's it.
That's your theory? You're going with that one?
Yep.
All right.
She's the one.
That's not a bad theory.
Very telling.
It is very telling.
Very telling.
Because again, they always use the same talking points. They always use the same words, right?
That's it. Concrete security guarantees over and over again. We heard from him today, and now we hear from her. She's the one.
Yeah, and he was just too stupid to realize that the deal would have been the guarantee. But he's not smart enough. And obviously she wanted to make sure he wasn't smart enough to realize that. Because then the deal goes through and it brings this war to a halt. And what's amazing too is that Zelensky's like, oh, ceasefire. He didn't want to do a ceasefire. Think about this. Even terrorists like Hamas agree to ceasefires. Whether they hold or not is one thing. But at least they agree to a ceasefire to say, okay, let's stop doing what we're doing for a minute here and see if we can figure this out. So when you even have a sick group like a terrorist group like Hamas, sign on for a ceasefire, and you can't get that from a quote unquote, this supposedly leader of Ukraine, where he doesn't think that a ceasefire will give them any opportunities to get something positive done, then you're dealing with somebody who's A, like you were saying, he's already been coached and told what to do, or B, he's just a moron. So either one, I don't think he's he's lighting up the IQ charts there.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio tonight on with Caitlin Collins. Here's his message tonight.
Let's see President Zelensky apologize for.
Well, apologize for turning this thing into the fiasco for him that it became. There was no need for him to go in there and become antagonistic. Look, this thing went off the rails. You were there, I believe. It went off the rails when he said, let me ask you a question to the vice president. What kind of diplomacy are you talking about? Well, this is a serious thing. I mean, thousands of people have been killed. Thousands. And he talks about all these horrible things that have happened to prisoners of war and children. All true, all bad. This is what we're dealing with here. It needs to come to an end. We are trying to bring it to an end. The way you bring it to an end is you get Russia to the table to talk. And he understands that. attacking Putin, no matter how anyone may feel about him personally, forcing the president into a position where you're trying to goad him into attacking Putin, calling him names, maximalist demands about Russia having to pay for the reconstruction, all the sorts of things that you talk about in a negotiation. Well, when you start talking about that aggressively, and the president's a deal maker, he's made deals his entire life, you're not going to get people to the table. And so you start to perceive that maybe Zelensky doesn't want a peace deal. He says he does, but maybe he doesn't. And that active, open undermining of efforts to bring about peace is deeply frustrating for everyone who's been involved in communications with them leading up to today. And I think we should apologize for wasting our time for a meeting that was going to end the way it did.
But what specific?
Yeah.
Good point.
And if you caught any of the glimpses of Marco Rubio, who was seated right next to J.D. Vance, you could see he was pretty ticked off because it was his job to get the deal set up to bring Zelensky in, to say, okay, yeah, he's good to go. Let's get him in here and let's get this thing done. And to have it all just kind of blow up like that, he looked pretty ticked off as well.
Our guy Shipwreck Crew from Red State, Zelensky is losing the war and does not have a path to victory without huge support from the outside. The U.S. has been that main support. Knowing that his relationship with President Trump was tenuous at best before he arrived, his attitude should have reflected the reality of his position. But instead of maintaining the necessary demeanor for advancing his cause, regardless of what came his way, he showed his lack of seasoning and his lack of statesmanship. He's caught up in a war for his country's survival that he did not start. We all acknowledge that. But today was an unforced error. If the future of his country is really his overriding concern, then he should resign without delay and let a new Ukrainian leader establish his own relationship with President Trump, VP Vance, and Secretary of State Rubio.
Yeah.
So
there you have it.
So no raid on the SDNY today.
No raid on the SDNY, but
no
I do have
Epstein files.
But I do have this. Do we have
did you get
time?
any Epstein files today?
No, I got no files. Delgado's tracking.
I got no files. I had pizza. I had some mozzarella sticks and some garlic nuts, but no Epstein files.
Now, Delgado, go put on a suit.
Hey, at least I got a collar.
Hey, Damon, suit yourself.
Yeah.
As always, we salute. We suit our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us. Thanks, everybody on the show. Aaron Frank, great job. Long day, I know. Thanks for everything. Thanks mostly to you, the Live from Studio 6B audience, though. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you Monday night, live from Studio 6B.